Hello, love. Welcome to Feeling Fridays here on the Libran Key. Messages for the highest and greatest good of the Empath Collective and the Empath Journey here on Mama Gaia. Know that if this message has found you, and or if you have found it, that there is something here for you. That is always the intention that I put into these messages. If you are returning here, family, thank you for being here. Sending you so much love wherever you are across this beautiful Mama Gaia. And if you are finding this message, this video for the first time, a very warm and loving welcome to you. This message is coming straight from Source. It's coming straight from, and now there's a play on words that they're bringing through here, straight from the Source, the element of water, okay? And specifically also showing me the Lady of the Lake and the healing waters of Avalon, okay? There is an elemental water energy coming through for this reading. It's connected to the Lady of the Lake. It's connected to the healing waters of Avalon, very specifically. And I'm also getting dragon energy coming in with this as well, but specifically the water dragons. And I'm also just simply, this is a universal collective reading with regard to Source coming in to direct us to the collective consciousness or unconscious that we are all connected to as a remembering. Because specifically I heard this reading is a remembrance, is for the purpose of remembrance, to remember who you are, to remember who we are. I heard the memory, and that's interesting because that wanted to come out as melody now. Okay. The memory of water, the water elementals, this melody of water connected to sound, and specifically water, the healing aspects of water, the muffled, the way water carries sound, and the actual healing sounds of water. When we hear waves, when we hear rain, when we hear a stream or a river, even the plunking I'm hearing of water, like when you dive into water or when you're in the bathtub and you kind of, swish in and out of water, okay? I am working with this message with Celestite again. Now, this is interesting because this had come through the previous Transformation Tuesday's message. When Spirit wants to emphasize a message, Spirit emphasizes a message. So for 2 readings in a row now, the energy of Celestite coming through and asking again through the Healing Waters Oracle. Now in Tuesday's in the Transmission Tuesday's message, what came through was the integration of light and water, and also the element of air, okay, in connecting with the higher realms. And they're even saying to me the deeper realms, because the Lady of the Lake is connected to this, okay? Because she holds, she is connected with Excalibur, that is a sword. It's connecting it to, how Source is showing it to me is connecting the sword to the element of air, but she is of the water. She is the Lady of the Lake, okay? And there's something here with regard to the collective mind, because that is how this sword and air energy is coming through. But the memory is in the water. That's what they're showing me. So they're directing me to share with you another one of Ted Andrews' masterpieces, Enchantment of the Faerie realm. And I'm going to be reading an excerpt here from the section on water sprites, spirits, and nymphs. So there are, in this particular book, just very quickly, I'm going to show you the chapters so you can see if this is something that is pinging for you. 444 on the counter. As I say that, this might be something that is calling you, especially, okay, with regard to the kind of topics, the energies that he covers in this, okay? And what he wants to get at here specifically is the water sprites, spirits, and nymphs. And he just wants me to kind of read points from the beginning of the chapter here, but also some specific points as well conducive to this message. Okay. Water is the creative element of life. Many tales and myths exist about how all life came forth from the spiritual waters. It has long been a symbol of the womb and creation. Water is both creative and destructive, a source of life and death. From the amniotic fluids of the prenatal experience to the nourishment it provides throughout life, it is essential to our existence. It is a primary element within the human body, coursing through our veins. Water is purifying, and it has rhythm and movement. They're tying this into the sound now as well, like dance. And how dance is always connected to sound, and they're bringing in primordial sound now for that as well. It represents time and change, and this is something that they want to emphasize very much with what's going on right now, and why this is the second time we're bringing in this water energy in a row for these readings. Crossing any water was often seen as a change in consciousness and even an initiation. I'm curious when I read that what imagery comes up for you. Crossing any water was often seen as a change in consciousness and even an initiation. They're really emphasizing this right now. And he proceeds to talk about baptism. A true ritual baptism in water, though, is not the dedication ceremony we use today, right? It was an act prepared for in a meticulous manner. It's almost like they're showing me the purification process even pre-baptism, right? Very interesting. Okay, so, and this last little bit here, and then I'm going to go, okay, he's got a section here on, lovely, he's got a section here on the Lady of the Lake, so I'm going to read that. In more ancient times, the magic of water has no bounds. It could estrange you from that which made you human, or it could bestow wisdom and spiritual sight. It could cure diseases, and it could even restore youth. In the Celtic tradition, there is the well of the world that could restore life to dead men. In the Arthurian sagas of the Celtic tradition, the Lady of the Lake gave Arthur the sword Excalibur. Okay, so it's connected to this magic, is how they're showing it to me as well. Water is always shifting. It has no beginning and no end. It has a life of its own. It is a world in which many fantastic creatures and beings exist, okay? Mermaids, mermen, water sprites, spirits, nymphs, okay? All of these, and all of these elementals coming through because they are especially wanting to be around us now. This is really interesting because of how much is connected to the empath journey here on Mama Gaia. They're using the analogy here. They're elementally, the water is very much like empath energy and its absorption, its ability to absorb energies and to be programmed in a sense with a certain kind of consciousness. So there's some kind of codes in the water here. And if you're working with water as an element, whether you're working with elementals, whether you're working with the energies of the Lady of the Lake, whether you're working with Avalon energies, whether you're working with physically with water, something is here. Something wants to be remembered. Okay. Okay, and this is the last little bit that he wants me. There's angelic energies coming through for this as well. Archangel Raphael wanting to come for, okay, so there's something in the healing here is what he's showing me. He wants me to read this section specifically. Where is it? Okay. There are qualities that are universally attributed to most water spirits and fairies, and he gives a list here, but specifically Archangel Raphael, thank you, is directing me to this. They are generally sweet and gentle when we're talking about water spirits and fairies. There have been many stories of beautiful water nymphs and mermaids who seduce and lead men to their doom or death. For example, the sirens of ancient Greece, with their haunting songs to sailors. Although many of these tales are superstitious, often they are symbolic, and he's really emphasizing this here, of the change occurring within the mind and consciousness of one who encounters such a wondrous realm. He's saying this is what the water has and makes available to us. The person is never the same again, and to many it may seem as if they have lost their souls or died. Such accounts may reflect that for the first time in a person's life, they caught a true glimpse of their souls. There are many psychological and spiritual interpretations of these associations with doom and death, and I'm getting like chills with this one, big time. Okay. So this is interesting. He's showing me the fluidity of water and how in being fluid, he's giving me the energy of surrender here. In embracing that energy, we are able to see this interpretation at a much deeper level. This is about ego death. This is about the energy of facing our deepest fears, seeing our own true natures. This is connected very much to shadow work. But what's interesting, yeah, and the Lady of the Lake is really bringing that through as well, because she was showing me herself in the conditions were very misty, foggy, misty. And that's symbolic of the energy of going into the unknown, the depths of ourselves, because she was very deep in this pool of water. It's almost like you can't find her, right? She's very elusive. She's very elusive. And I'm getting an energy of being I'm not sure if this is the right way to describe it. There's an energy of being very pure of soul, pure of heart, of just being. And she's actually inviting each and every one of us to close our eyes for a second. I'm just going to describe, to imagine, and she's really bringing emphasis here to the realm of imagination as being a portal, okay? Of receiving information, but also connecting to information. This is where activations take place. 1331 on the counter. Okay, so she's showing me the lake in which she dwells. It's misty, it's very calm, it's very quiet. There are trees lining this lake, but they're barely even visible. It's like we're seeing silhouettes of this tree. Think of this is sort of like a dusk energy. It feels very liminal in its space. And there's a lot of blues here. There's a lot of kind of grays, blues, and I'm seeing sort of like white as well in the mist, okay? And she's showing herself as swimming in this lake very deeply, and it's like we see her for a glimpse at our feet. We're standing by the water. She's showing me the star card now. I'm seeing the star card in tarot. And this is the energy of baptism. This is the energy of baptism and renewal. This is the energy of purification is what she's showing me. And this goes back to this whole, how this energy was coming through at the beginning. Okay. she's ending it there. What she wants me to do now is get to the cards and the deck, okay? And I'm also asking through Pamela's mini deck, all right? This feels now like it wants to be a message directly from her. Yeah. This is, and you know, it's funny. She's, side note here, this is what happens with water energy. This is what happens with water energy. And she wants me to say this as an example. Water will take you not necessarily where you want to go, but where you need to go. And it's sort of like an energy of following those golden breadcrumbs. There's a degree and a certain, and it's going to be different for everybody is what she's showing me. There's a degree of surrender. And it's interesting because I'm actually hearing the phrase active, intentional surrender here. This is not the same energy of giving up, okay? But she's showing me the energy of baptism here as an analogy for that, right? Like when we are baptized. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. She's connecting the energy of the star and baptism. Yeah, well, this makes sense because the tower comes right before that. So she's connecting it to this tower energy. And this goes back to the excerpt from this book that we were sharing earlier regarding this ego death, okay? Whatever was built on shoddy ground, but this is specific to something in our lives because she wants to also, thank you for that, because this water energy, it's very collective unconscious, it's very collective consciousness, it's very Piscean in its energy, okay? And it's interesting because the star card is connected to Aquarius, so this is the dissemination of this in some way where we see how this information, these codes, this remembering is now revealing itself in our lives. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I really hope that this energy is transmitting in a way that is able for you to understand. She's saying to me that, yeah, you're going to get from this what you need. And there's no figuring this out. More than anything, because this is the energy of water, she's directing me to hold the Celestite up again. This is an energy of feeling into this. And if it's available for you, if you have a piece of Celestite, if this is available to you, meditate with it, sleep with this under your pillow, in your hand, however you want. This is a way to connect to this surrendering is how she's showing it to me, okay? Yeah, okay. I'm asking now through the Healing Waters Oracle. She doesn't want to really give, here we go, the Pearl. Alchemy, the reward at the end, from grit to grace. 1818 on the counter. That's the energy of the moon, okay? What's really beautiful here is she's giving me an energy of progression. We go from the tower to the star to the moon card, okay? There's an alchemical process taking place in the water. She's reminding me that water is the prima materia, okay? The reward at the end, from grit to grace. Like none of this is happening for no freaking good reason, okay? She who flows at the bottom of the deck, she still wants me to shuffle. Ease, being open to change, go with the flow of life. This is exactly the kind of surrendering energy. She wants me to pull this out. This is exactly the kind of surrendering energy that she is speaking about. Embracing the flow. What is it that you... Okay, the question that she's bringing forward right now is, if you are struggling with this, if it is challenging for you to go with the flow, then what? Ask yourself, what is it that's hindering you? And she's bringing me back to the Celestite now and meditating and asking this before you go to bed to be revealed, the answer in your dreams, to ask this in meditation, to put that into the ether is what she's showing me. And she's actually showing me speaking and singing to the water in that respect as well. Follow the stream. Trust That's the energy. There's a portal energy in this. And just as I said that, beneath the surface, yeah. What's really driving you? True motives in breaking free. What is really driving you? This goes back to the question that she was just asking. So what is it that's stopping you? And what is it that's really driving you? And this is how her energy is coming through, beneath the surface, going very deep. Sirens at the bottom of the deck. Use your voice, expansion, and freedom. Yeah. This goes back to that sound energy. They keep on showing me singing to the water. I want to read from the book for this one. Something that feels specific in that. I want to read from the book for that, and then I'm going to just pop a few more out from Pamela's mini deck. Okay. How are you being called to share your voice? Here we go. How are you being called to share your voice and expand into your most alive, empowered self? But she's saying to me, this is a timeline thing. Oh my God, she's showing me timelines as wavelengths. I'm seeing a nautilus now, a shell. Coming out of your shell. There are codes. This is a coded message. There's some kind of energy here. She's inviting you as well to revisit this message, because she's showing me spirals and cyclical time. Oh, this goes back also to, and I do not remember when this message came through. It was the one about the cogs in the wheel. I'm going to make a note of that and link it right here. Coming back into alignment with something. Coming back into alignment with something. And she's reassuring us again, for some of us that are feeling like FOMO about stuff, or like, what is meant for you will not miss you. She's kind of tying this into relationships as well. Okay. This is a card inviting you to your own gifts, to share your voice, to surrender into the most expanded version of who you are. Remember that, oh man, they're bringing in this energy of like misinterpretation, of fear mongering, like again, like the stories that we have about sirens, the fears that were there, the superstitions, all of it, right? It's kind of like the way people are superstitious of the dark, you know, and we have this like massive, what's the word here? There's like a massive, almost like a blind spot, disconnect. It's interesting because it almost feels, without getting too into it, it almost feels like this is like a deliberate thing. And yeah, like it's being done deliberately at a collective consciousness type of level for us not to go deeper, you know? It's just this energy of like, no, don't do it if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Oh man. Okay. So she's giving me, and it's interesting because I don't necessarily, okay, thank you. So she's giving me a specific word here. It's funny though, but I don't, okay. So she's showing me, she's giving me the example of gluttony, distraction. This is devil energy, right? Yeah, interesting. Okay. She's giving me, but she's showing me that this is an energy that we alchemize of our own volition, of our own free will. So we've got distractions being thrown at us left, right, and center, trying to kick us off course, trying to get us off course energetically, okay? Vibrationally, frequency-wise, okay? I don't know why this is coming through, but it's related. She's showing me like mass media, watching the news. Not relevant anymore. It's like she's literally like, cut it out. Like I'm seeing her with Excalibur, like Queen of Swords, Lady Justice, like, and this is the truth. That's where she wants me to leave it at. Thank you for that. Yeah, there's too much. Oh my gosh, she's coming back to this whole energy. Your energy is everything. Your energy and where you're vibrating at and your frequency is everything, especially as empaths. Look at that, Page of Cups. Especially as empaths, this pure, beautiful energy. She's showing me that this is an energy of psychic connection, purity, psychic connection. There's a feminine energy that's coming through with that. And she's showing me us getting curious about really connecting to our own energy when it comes to this. And this Seven of Swords coming out in reverse is a great thing to see, because this is coming out of deception and betrayal of the mind, specifically, is how she's showing it to me. Okay. I'm just going to pop a few more cards here, and we're going to close this out moving forward. She wants to give us look at that. This whole chunk flipped over and it was this again. Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups. Interesting that these are both fours. And another four at the bottom of the deck with the Emperor coming out in reverse. You are your own authority. The authority is not external. You are your own authority. This is an energy, it's coming out twofold here. This is about having actual physical boundaries around what we just spoke about. Turning off the phone, turning off the television, turning off your computer. And she's showing me us all out with Mama Gaia. She's showing me near ponds, lakes, us being out. That's where the truth is. That's where this divine intervention can come through. That's where we get enlightened. That's where we have our aha moments. That is where we understand all of this, how to alchemize, right? How to go with the flow, right? How to answer the question, what drives you? Going deeper. This is where expansion and freedom really truly is. In your own sovereignty. Oh my God, I'm just getting full body chills with all of this that she's bringing through. Also, I'm going to end it here with this coming out in reverse. This is an invitation. She's going back to initiation. This is interesting. This is an invitation for you to connect with the water elementals, the fae, the spirits, the sprites, okay? And she's showing me how they want to. She's showing me that Page of Cups again. And it's sort of like they want to do this, but they're hesitant, right? Because of just how disconnected we've become as a collective with the Fae realm. But they want to connect. And if you're going in, obviously, with love and reverence, really, for them and for Mother Earth, for Mama Gaia, they want to assist us, okay? They want to help us through all of that. Beautiful. I'm just going to end out with this. I'm getting, funny enough, I have this piece of apophyllite sitting through. It didn't come up in the beginning, but I'm going to bring it in now. this I think is exactly what came out last time. So just reiterating, working with these energies and with the frequencies of these crystals as well, okay, to connect you to that. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to the Lady of the Lake, the beautiful water elementals, the undines, the spirits, the sprites, the water, the fae, for coming through for this message. Thank you, Archangel Raphael. He's another energy that you can connect with to help you with this. He's showing me, interesting, he's showing me the healing waters, the Venusian realm, and the angelic realm of the Venusians as well, connected to this healing process as well. Remember that Venus, Aphrodite, okay, also connected to water. Interesting. He's kind of showing me, like, I'm getting how she herself is like in the element of water, elementally, here on Earth. Okay. She came of the water. Yeah, she was born of the water. Okay. Thank you. I thank you for being here with us, for sharing your time, your energy. This was a bit of a longer one, and I really appreciate you being here, sharing your time and your energy with us in this space. And I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.